Sure. Arlene Paterwic.
Okay. Arlene, what was your first connection to MCC?
I came to school here in 1970. I was a student. It was a great time. I was 17, so I was, new, getting right out of high school. So this was a very nice transition for me. I was really sheltered at home, so going to a 2-year school was better.
So where were your classes in 1970? What were the buildings like?
I was at Manchester High and the Hartford Road campus. So you had the 10-minute commute from the high school to the campus. Yep.
Now, did you get your associate degree?
I got my associate degree in occupational therapy assistant.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And were any of your teachers people who would later become your colleagues when you started working here?
Yes, it was strange. Bob Richardson was here. Let me see if I can remember anybody else. John Crowley. Mr. S. Schultz. When I see them, I'll remember it.
Well, so after you graduated, did you work in occupational therapy?
I worked there for a year, and then I wanted to get into the state. So I had a secretarial background. So I came in that way, hoping that when there was a test, I could get in. But back then, there was also hiring freezes. There was a recession where you had to stand in line for your gas. So I made the transition, and I went into business administration. So I took courses, came back, took some courses here, then went to Eastern and got my degree there.
And at what point did you finally get hired at MCC?
In 1979. Beth Hounsel hired me and what's called community service at that time.
And what were some of the things you were doing back then?
You mean as work?
Work-wise.
I was secretary, doing the typing, answering the phones, doing contracts, different things like that, opening classes at that time. We had classes off campus. We had them at Cigna and Aetna and Pratt & Whitney. And we needed to have somebody go to register students. So I would go with Diane McHutchinson and make the loop and register students
too. So you did a tremendous amount of administrative work.
Right.
Have you always been in the continuing ed department for the 30 years?
Yeah. I had Jim Tatro was my boss.
What do you remember about Jim?
He was very nice, but he was very organized. And there were rules to follow. And, if you went according to the rules, everything was fine.
And then who else did you work with there, or work for?
After he left, I worked with Jack Gannon, which was the total opposite of Jack. And,
What kind of manager was Mr. Gannon?
Very laid back. He would say, I'm going up the hill, because after we had the low building. So he'd just say, I'm going up the hill, and, if anything happened, whoever was there, would, fix it.
And then did Melanie come in after Jack Gannon, or was there someone in between?
No. Jack left. We had another director for a year named Barbara Richards. She just, I don't even think it was a year. And then we had interim, our directors were the director of continuing ed. And then we got Melanie.
What are some of the things that you like about your job?
I like the people. I like the staff. I like the faculty. If you need solutions, you can go to different people and ask them. No question is stupid. I feel very comfortable asking different people, how they would solve problems, or if they need help, I'll go and help them. It's very nice. That's why I'm still here.
And what are some of the accomplishments that you're most proud of?
Oh, well, I worked my way up. I started as a clerk typist, and now I'm a fiscal administrative officer, and I'm more into the administration now, activity, and the accounting and the fiscal budgets and all.
If you had a new person who was just hired to work in your area,
Mm-hmm.
what would you tell that person in terms of advice as they were starting their career here?
I tell them that this is really a great place, that everyone is very nice, that if they had any questions, they could come to me or go to anybody. If they were full time, I'd ask them to lunch. Introduce them to people, show them the ropes.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Working here, no. But when I was a student, can I go back to when I was a student?
Sure, let's talk about the student days.
It was home. I want to say that it was new. MCC was in the infancy when I came. The professors were great. It was their baby. And they had a lot of different activities here. I remember they had every Friday, Mr. Elmore would be here, and we'd have foreign films. And after that, we had a discussion. That was every Friday. They had like a cafe on Thursday nights where the people in the music could perform. That's where I met my husband. They had different activities. The Warrens were here. Sandy, was it Tammany? No. Sandy. Tegas. Right. Brought in Kubler-Ross. I saw her. We had a lot of big names, that came here. And it was like one family. The professors were always here. So if you needed them, to talk to or to help you, they were available. And that's, for me, that was a great way to start because I was the first one in my family to go to college. And it was nice. It was like, gradually getting into the real world.
Did your family encourage you to go to school?
Yes. Yeah.
And they were happy when you chose MCC?
The funny thing is, we lived in East Hartford, so MCC was close, and I could commute. Because back then, you didn't go into dorms and things, so it was good. And I was supposed to go into to be a medical receptionist, and ended up going into occupational therapy. Which, even though I didn't get my degree, you can always use what you learn, because when you have an education, it's never lost. It comes up in strange ways.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So that'll